All right, let's get right to our special guest. Welcome back to the show. Glad you're here today. I want to welcome Pennsylvania Senator McCormick back. Senator, how are you?
Right, I'm great, Rich. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here. We've got a big energy summit coming up next week. I'll be there. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
I can't wait. It's honestly, it was a good idea. It was like many of my good ideas. It was really my wife's good idea. But this thing has turned out to be an amazing thing. Soon after I won, I talked to President Trump, and he said, you ran a great race. What can I do to help? And I said two things, Mr. President. Number one, come to Pennsylvania for wrestling. And as you know, Rich, he came for the national championships in Philadelphia, which was incredible. And I said the second is I want to have an energy and innovation summit in Pittsburgh. You talked about from Paris, and I'm not worried about Paris. I'm worried about Pittsburgh in 2016 when you ran. Pennsylvania is where it all comes together in terms of artificial intelligence, big data, in terms of the energy required to build and support these big data centers, in terms of the kind of skilled labor that only Pennsylvania has to build this. It's the combination of old and new, and Carnegie Mellon and University of Pittsburgh and Penn and Drexel in terms of the technical talent. So we've got about 40 of the biggest CEOs in the world, some of the biggest global investors in the world. We've got many of the key members of the president's cabinet, including the president, but Secretary Wright, Secretary Burgum, and others. And what we're going to see is three things, I think. Number one, we're going to see commitments and investment announced for Pennsylvania that creates jobs, and that's going to be a big thing. I mean, I think billions of dollars of investments. The second thing is we're going to bring 150 to 200 media to Pittsburgh and to talk about all that Pennsylvania has to offer. It should be on the radar of every single major CEO in the world that Pennsylvania is where the action's at in terms of energy and big data and AI. And third, I said to the president, we're going to deliver to the people who got us here. Mm-hmm. He ran and I ran on promises for working families. And the best way to create opportunity in the American dream for working families is to create good jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, you guys have done a great job with deregulation and with getting investments here in Pennsylvania. And obviously, this is going to be huge for our state for the future because, let's face it, I mean, we're the epicenter of this. Natural gas and nuclear power, which you've talked about before, and deregulations around that, and then spurring that. So why not Pennsylvania to be the hub of that for the entire world going forward? I mean, my God, that's huge.
No doubt about it. And the thing you learn when you dig into this is, hey, by the way, these people have hundreds of billions of dollars to invest. Dina and I were in the Emirates weeks ago. I think we may have talked when I got back from there. When we were there, we met with Sheikh Mohammed, who is the leader of the Emirates. He had committed to the president $1.4 trillion of investment, Rich, over the next 10 years. $140 billion a year in America. And the question, of course, if you're the Senator of Pennsylvania, is how much of that's coming here?
Exactly.
Right? How much of that's coming to Pennsylvania? And it's zero sum. We got to convince the world. And it's not too hard because we've got the blessings of natural gas. We're the second largest energy producer in America, the fourth largest natural gas reserves in the world. And we're innovators. We got all sorts of innovation happening in Pennsylvania. This is the place it's got to be a first stop on looking for ways to invest and innovate in America. And so this is a great opportunity to showcase all we've got to offer. And listen, you got to start with the fact that the president, got to give him all the credit in the world. The reason people want to invest is deregulation, energy dominance, fair trade. Like this is not by accident that they're all coming to Pittsburgh. This is because, thankfully the president agreed to come, but he's creating an environment where people are willing to invest.
Yeah, well, this is a great idea. Happy to give Dina the credit for it, Senator McCormick, if you want. But either way, home run. So I'm excited to be there July 15th. Thank you again for the invitation, and I hope I get a good seat since you're gonna have so much media there. It's, make sure. Let's talk about Butler. A year ago, you were there. Combat veteran. As soon as you heard the shots, Senator, you knew something was going down here. A year later, the Compatore family still looking for answers. How much closer are we now to knowing what happened that day, you think?
As you said, that was a day that's etched in my memory for forever. And I was up on the stage with the president, and he said, "Hey, go sit down. I'm going to talk about the border." And when I sat down, I was in the front row, and the shots fired just a minute or two later. And it was an iconic moment because he, of course, went down, Secret Service on top of him. I saw him hit, but then I also sadly saw somebody hit behind me in the bleachers. They were trying to administer first aid, and that was Corey. So a tragic loss. I got to meet his family. Just a tragic, tragic loss. And honestly, I am unsatisfied that we have the answers. I don't understand it. And the reason I don't understand it is it seems so implausible to me. I'm not a conspiracy. I don't have to see some grand conspiracy, but it does seem to me that there was gross incompetence, a horrible lack of coordination, a horrible lack of oversight to allow the very fact that you could have that building uncovered, which is for any Pennsylvania deer hunter, that was a 9 out of 10 shot. You hit that 9 out of 10 times. That was not a hard shot. And so the idea that that rooftop could have been uncovered, the idea that that person, that young man, could have slipped through security, he could have climbed the side of that building with a rifle, it's sort of unthinkable. And at a minimum, I think it shows a complete failure of imagination and a complete lack of competence. And I'm not sure I can put my finger on where the failure, who should be held accountable for that failure. And I think if, I'm reasonably close to these issues, if I don't know it,
there we go,
then most of the American people don't know it. And then most of the American people don't know it. I don't think that's satisfactory when, our future president and past president was a millimeter away from being killed.
Senator, I think we might have lost your audio. Justin, can you hear him on your end? Justin, Matt, somebody say something to me?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, Senator, thank you very much. All right, great. He cut out for just a second.
Sorry, I don't know where did you lose me?
Just the fact that you were saying, any good hunter can know that's a great shot, and for him to get up there on that roof with a rifle, to be up on that roof like that, it's inexcusable. We have to get the answers.
Gross. I was just saying I don't think we fully understand it, which I think is a problem because it's either a gross lack of competence, coordination, and certainly a gross lack of imagination for the risk that would put the president. I know that they've made dramatic changes in the security for the president since that time, but it was a real failure. And the fact that we almost lost the former president and the future president by a millimeter.
Yeah.
I wrote an article the next day, and the title of the article was "An Inch Away from Catastrophe," catastrophic to our country had the president lost his life.
Well, we never would have been the same country after that. And I saw Helen, Corey's wife, on TV earlier, so heartbroken, still looking for answers. I'm grateful that you're still seeking them because I know you're unsatisfied. I think we all are, Senator McCormick. So thank you for pushing that. Before I let you go, obviously, one big beautiful bill passed last week. What's next? What's the next step for Senator Dave McCormick? Big energy summit coming up next week, obviously. And then what do you want to see going forward as far as cuts and spending and deregulation?
Well, the big thing on my mind is permitting reform. One of the things I ran on, Rich, which is I kept talking about permitting reform for pipelines, for all forms of energy, nuclear, solar, wind, natural gas, coal. I'm an all for. I'm opposed to subsidies, but I'm for all forms of energy. And I'm on the Energy Committee, and I'm the chairman of the subcommittee on energy. And so I'm in a good position to try to help with others spearhead that effort. I hope it can be bipartisan. It has to be. We need 60 votes to get that out of the Senate. And so permitting reform is on my mind because it's such an accelerant of economic growth for Pennsylvania. It's we talked about the energy summit. If we want to, we don't have a lot of time. The world's changing dramatically. We don't have a lot of time to seize the moment and create opportunity. And so if I think about the biggest things I could do to make a difference for Pennsylvania right out of the gate, it would be to help spearhead permitting reform, to get it approved in the Senate and the House, and put those reforms into action.
Senator Dave McCormick, thanks for your time. I look forward to seeing you Tuesday in Pittsburgh, my friend. Thank you.
Good to see you, Rich. Thanks.
Good to see you.
The Rich Zeoli